So we're here with Ryan Hurd, and we're going to talk about the Many Worlds of Lucid Dreaming Conference. So what is your presentation going to be about?
My presentation this year is exploring lunar and solar consciousness in lucid dreams.
Nice. That sounds really interesting. So what does that entail? Like having dreams of space or?
It has, well, it has to do with the cosmos, I guess, but I guess all lucid dreams really do. It's really about the way we make choices as lucid dreamers. It's a focus on our spectrum of intentionality, as I call it. So, looking at the lunar aspects of our consciousness, which is sort of our intuitive, receptive awareness, as well as our solar consciousness, which is the more analytical, active, decisive, remembering, kind of pushing into the world. And that's the kind of consciousness that lucid dreaming is more known for. Oh, we can make choices. We can, right, disrupt the flow or bring in new kind of things into the dream. And so what this presentation is about is that flow and how important, lunar consciousness still is to the whole dream matrix, our ability to be present for what the dream brings and our ability to, ask a question and then like truly listen and be open to who shows up, like what shows up in the dream. And so that's really what the thing is about.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. I'm excited to read it. Is there like one main takeaway that you want people to take from the presentation?
I would say too that we can focus on in our Western lucid dreaming culture this concept of surrender as being just as lucid, just as self-aware, just as full of possibility as that sort of striving, scientific, analytical kind of lucidity that we often see as being what marketed towards what is lucid dreaming about. When we surrender, when we use our choice, right, and turn the mirror to stay open to what presents itself, that's really some beautiful moments of transformation in the dream. And so that I would say is the big takeaway.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I've noticed that one big misconception about lucid dreaming is that people think that you just control your dreams and that's it, but they don't realize that there's so much more to it. And sometimes when you don't exert your ego onto the dream, you can get a lot of powerful results from that. So I'm really I love that topic.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, I think everyone gets it. I think that it's really nobody's fault. I think it's the marketing kind of machinery of lucid dreaming that continuously presents this idea that lucid dreaming is the same as dream control.
Yes, definitely. So that's good that we're working to dispel that misconception. Um, cool. And just for some maybe new lucid dream listeners out there, do you have any tips or techniques that have really helped you along the way?
For new lucid dreamers, I would say, patience and to be as interested in the dreams you have already had as much as the dreams that you're anticipating having and going lucid to in the future. I think that so often, and this totally is my story too, is that when I was a new lucid dreamer, I was so hyper focused on what am I going to do next? Where am I going to go next? That I was blowing through all these transformative experiences and perhaps not integrating them as well as I could have. And so I think that was a missed opportunity. Of course, I wrote a lot of stuff down and I go back and I'm like, oh, look, there it all is. It's still waiting for me to get the message. So that's, I think the main thing is just like, let's like fall in love with dreaming as a whole. And that really brings, I think, the true fruits of the labor.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's really important. A lot of people just focus on lucidity and not appreciate all of their dreams. So that's a really good message, I think. When was your first lucid dream? Do you remember it and can you tell me about it?
Gosh, my first lucid dream was probably when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and it was a hypnagogic experience. And what I recall is that I would close my eyes to go to sleep, and I would focus my attention to bring on that sort of the imagery, that beautiful imagery that happens right at sleep onset. And I was trying to fall asleep when I was 6. I was nervous about falling asleep. There's always that little bit of fear when you're a child and you're alone in the bedroom. And so I was using that as a focal point to focus my fear. And what I found is that if I did that, sometimes that imagery would collect and begin to organize and begin to become like this sort of beautiful geometric shapes. And then sometimes it would go three-dimensional and would become a portal. And I would enter into the portal and then I would be asleep. And so this was a technique that I sort of fell into literally as a 6 or 7 year old. And that was the beginning. Who had no idea that that was a thing. That was just my way of kind of navigating into the space. And that's just so that, I'm not a special dreamer because of that. I think that all children really have this capability.
Definitely, yeah. And that's why I'm so passionate about like teaching children to like really dive into their lucidity and learn about it young, because then it becomes easier to lucid dream as an adult if you already have the skill. So that's cool. And I think that 6, 7 year old Ryan would be proud of you now. You're presenting at the Many World of Lucid Dreaming, and it's going to be really good. So hopefully people take a lot out of the presentation.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited for this conference. It's going to be great.